The comments and opinions of Talk of the Heartland with Mac McKoy are not necessarily the opinions of Walnut Media USA, management, station manager Janelle Reeves, any particular denomination or religion, the mailman, the church lady, or anyone else of sound mind and body. Now, here's the Talk of the Heartland with Mac McKoy on KCRO, the Heartland's Christian voice.
Good afternoon. It is the 12th day of October in the Lord's year 2022. I'm Mac McKoy, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Talk of the Heartland here on the Heartland's Christian voice, AM 660, FM 106.7, and all around the world at KCRO. It's no accident you're listening today. We prayed. Pat and I just got done praying. Well, he did the praying, I did the meditating. And we said, God, just bring somebody before this program live or 10 years from now. It doesn't matter. But speak the truth through us and allow us to help someone's dream come true or their prayer come true. And so it's no accident you're here today, and we thank you. All right, so my guest today is Pat Osborn. He's from, I was going to say Des Moines, from Omaha here. All your life?
Just about. Grew up across the river, and then after high school, came over here. So
over the river and through the woods?
Yeah, Council Bluffs.
Yeah, okay. Love Council Bluffs. And for many years was in the business world, the highfalutin business world, and then kind of like me, Jesus came along and said, hey, Pat, come here. I got something for you to do. I don't have time. Well, you've got all the time I give you. And so Pat has been writing songs and lyrics from verses in the Bible. Now, is that a 100% or just most of them?
A lot of them, and a lot of them are in my own words, but picked up the thought or the idea of a passage. There's one song we're going to do today that was kind of taken from one specific scripture, and I don't use those exact words, but the idea is there. So,
and which one is that?
No, that'd be Fallen.
Fallen. All right. So today we're going to listen to three of his songs, and he's going to tell you the story about them. And I have to tell you, it is such a joy and such a gift to have Pat on here. And it would be with any case of a singer-songwriter or a songwriter of music and lyrics, because there's nothing better than for you to hear where that song came from in his head, in his heart. And those are the stories he's going to tell us today. And the cool thing is, you were on once before 6 weeks ago or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you would explain to me what the lineage, the background of this song is, and who is singing it and all that. And then Nick, my producer, what a God-blessed man I am to have him, he will not only just take the song, but he'll take the description of that and then put it on what we call a hotkey. It means as soon as I push it, then it plays. So people will always be able to hear where the inspiration was for the songs that we play. Now, let me start out by telling you this. You've given away 100,000 or more CDs, correct?
Well, you're about half that.
Oh, okay.
On the CDs. The tracks is a different.
Oh, all right.
Little bigger number.
My point is that he doesn't sell his music. He gives it away. It's kind of like this ministry that I have. The compensation is not why we do it if we get any at all. We do it because we're answering God's call to make a difference in people's lives. And that's really what it comes down to. And so if you go to Little Bird Music Studios, littlebirdmusicstudios.com, the three songs that we're going to play today are right there. You can download them for no cost. In fact, there's not even a way for you to buy them. And I look forward to having Pat on here in another month or so because you have a Christmas album.
Right. Right.
And is this the first year for that CD?
No, that one's been out a little while. We've added and updated a couple songs that I think you'll enjoy when we get there. But that was actually finished before this Road Back Home collection that
really?
we've been playing from. Right.
Okay. And we're going to have that music on somewhere around Thanksgiving and then all the way through Christmas. If you listened to this program for any number of years or decades, you know that when Christmas comes around, I switch to Christmas music. And no, I probably won't play Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer or my least favorite Christmas song, Feliz Navidad. But we are going to be playing some regular artists, Christian, contemporary, top 40, country, gospel, and some of their favorite Christmas songs. Because when an artist puts out a Christmas song, they're not doing it to make money or to sell records, because it only gets played for about 4 or 5 weeks a year. They're doing it because it comes from their heart. And that's what we're going to find out when Little Bird Music Studios, i.e. Pat, comes back to start off our Christmas season. All right, let's take our first break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to play a song called Bluegrass Preacher Man. And Pat will tell us some of the people that are on the record or the recording. And are they all local for the most part?
Yeah, if you can consider Lincoln local, Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah, everybody's from here.
Okay, so it's all local.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are like me, when you hear that, you go, okay, well, not really good recordings. And I mean, I used to when we did music radio, I would actually get local bands send me a cassette that they pushed record on while they were playing a song. These are professionally mastered, tuned, and the studio is Warehouse Productions. Mm-hmm. Is that right? And Tim Tyler Studios. And so we'll hear the story behind our first song, Bluegrass Preacher Man, when we come back. I'm Mac McKoy, and if I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. I do love my job, and I do love you, and I couldn't do it without you. Here on AM 660, FM 106.7, and all around the world, at KCRO.com.
The ministries you listen to every day here on KCRO all have one thing in common. They're all working to bring souls to Christ. Many of the ministries that do such a fine job of sharing the word of the Lord never know the impact they have on their listeners' lives. So today, take a minute and let your favorite program know they are making a difference. If you need contact information for a specific program, you can call us here and we'd be glad to help. Thanks for listening, and God bless.
You are invited to tune in every Sunday right here on AM 660 KCRO for the Covenant Church live broadcast at 11 a.m. Covenant Church is located at 150th and Blondo Street in Omaha. The mission of Covenant is to know Christ and to make Him known. For more information, go to covenantomaha.church. That's covenantomaha.church. Or visit in person and bring the family to the 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. service. Come find a place where you can belong. Come home to Covenant.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline has a new number, 988. There is hope for 24/7 support. Just call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Thursday on Truth for Life, Alistair Begg challenges pastors to commit to straightforward preaching.
This ought to be the great test of all of our teaching. Is it from the book of God? Have we made it clear? Did we establish the meaning? And do the people understand?
There's no need to make it complicated. Discover what made the great preachers so effective. Thursday on Truth for Life with Alistair Begg.
Truth for Life with Alistair Begg. Weekday mornings at 8 on KCRO. 660 AM in Omaha and 106.7 FM in Lincoln.
100 years KCRO.
afternoon. It's the 12th day of October in the Lord's year 2022. I'm Mac McKoy, and this is the Talk of the Heartland on the Heartland's Christian Voice, KCRO.com. Now, remember that we are live from the Divine Truth Studios. Rodney and Jen and the family over Divine Truth are wonderful, wonderful Christian, well, I guess not co-Christians, brothers and sisters in Christ. And the third generation of that family is now participating in that store and running it and working it. In fact, I don't know if they have anybody but family working there. And I could tell you a lot of wonderful things about it. But here's the thing I like. Endless rows and rows and rows and rows of every type of Bible you'd ever want. Most languages, some are word for word, some are the King James Old Version, the New Version, some are application Bibles, study Bibles, and when you buy one there, if you want, for free, they'll emboss the name on the front of the cover. While you wait. Did you hear me? While you wait. So if you've got kids coming up for weddings, or Christmas coming, or baptisms, or confirmations, or you just want to let them know that Grandma and Grandpa love them, that's the place to go shop, and you'll be like a kid in a candy store. It's Divine Truth, 84th and Harrison, and tell them you heard it from Mac here on AM 660 and FM 106.7, and, of course, all around the world at KCRO. All right, the man behind Little Bird Music Studios, and the reason you should listen to that is this music that we're going to play a little bit today is written by Pat, and he gives it away. You can't buy it. He gives it away, and all you have to do is go to their webpage and download it for free. There's no catch here.
Yeah, and it's on Spotify if you'd rather listen to it that way.
Okay. That's right. I looked that up. It is. Well, of course it is. You just said so. But Little, Little, Bird, BIRD, Music, MUSIC, Studios, STUDIOS.com. Now, we're going to play a song that I have to admit, I've cheated. I've listened to it. And as a bluegrass, gospel, country kind of guy, I really like this song. But tell us what Bluegrass Preacher Man is about and how you were inspired to write this song.
Well, I've liked bluegrass as long as I could remember. And one of my favorite artists, Alison Krauss.
Oh, yeah.
What a voice.
Oh, yeah.
And the musicians she's got around her. It's just really, and the guys that did the soundtrack for Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes.
That just a classic.
Yeah. My favorite is when they're washing clothes in the water. And I don't remember what the song was.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah. No, I remember the song. I don't remember the title, but
it gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
Well, the lyrics, as you hear this, you think of a backwoods preacher in Kentucky just sharing the gospel, very simple and straightforward. So when we get to the lyrics, there's nothing fancy about the message. It's just real clear. There's a healthy dose of the bluegrass before we get to the lyrics. There's about a minute in of a really nice banjo. This fellow in Lincoln, Stephen O. Hansen, has played down there for years, and it's a band, and what a talent.
He must be Irish with Stephen O. Hansen.
I'm not sure, but he sure brought that banjo to life. And,
oh, man, do I love that.
And the fiddle player, he was also from Lincoln, Joshua Rector.
Yeah.
And that was the last addition to this. We had it done, and I thought there were some holes in it. And, boy, he livened it up. The vocalists, Tyler and Sandy Smith, some of you who've been in the music scene for a long time will recognize those names. I met Tyler back in the late 70s when he and Dave Butler were playing at Soul Concern and some of the coffee houses, and was just amazing and a lot of fun to go and hear them. Tyler had courted Sandy way back when, and he was in love. And
she didn't want anything to do with him.
Yeah, he was quite smitten, and she wasn't. She didn't get tapped with the same arrow, and they kind of went their ways, and life went on. And 37 years later, they reconnected and started a group called 37 Years. And Sandy and Tyler and Kyle Knapp played a lot of places. We used to like to go hear him at Brazen Head. And Tyler's got a wonderful voice, and I had been wanting to get him on a song for a long, long time. We did this about a year ago, and I'm glad we did, because Tyler passed away not too long after that. He got COVID and was just about over it, and had heart failure, and they lost him, and he's home in glory now. But Sandy worked with sound recorders for a long time, doing jingles and backup, and she's got a great voice, and together they just really carried the message and had the feel that I wanted. So again, be patient with it. It's about a minute in before you get the first set of lyrics, and then there's about another 45 minutes, another minute of instrumental, and then the last set of lyrics in the close. So this one's kind of upbeat. I hope it picks you up. Bluegrass Preacher Man.
And you're going to hear it first here on KCRO.
Sing a brand new song. You've been carrying your troubles and burdens far too long. Jesus died upon the cross that he might pay our ransom. Sing, sing a brand new song. Your voice in praise to the only name that's given by which we must be saved. He can cleanse the darkest stain and free you from your bondage. Lift your voice in praise. Jesus came to seek and save the sinner who is lost. The arrogant and proud he turns away. Life is but a vapor. We're here and then we're gone. And then, my friend, there comes a judgment day. What will you say? Savior's call. can seek His mercy, or you can't come at all. The boulevard to hell is wide and paved with good intentions. Hear the Savior's call. Jesus came to seek and save the sinner who is lost. The arrogant and proud He turns away. Life is but a vapor. We're here and then we're gone. And then, my friend, there comes the judgment day. What will you say? Oh, sinner man, sing a brand new song. Sinner man, won't you come along? Oh, sinner man, sing a brand new song.
Now that's my kind of music. It is called Bluegrass Preacher Man, and you can receive this song absolutely no charge ever by going to Little Bird Music Studios. littlebirdmusicstudios.com. It's also on Spotify. And I didn't know the story about Tyler, but knowing that he's passed on to the great one in the sky makes it even a little better.
Oh, yeah.
To know that. Now, that guy, Mike McCracken, oh boy.
Yeah.
Dobro and steel guitar.
Yeah, he was in Nashville for a long time.
Was he?
And moved to Omaha, or to Lincoln. And he was a friend of Tom Ware, the studio guy that I used. And he came up and did a session. And that was just for a little bit of color here and there. The banjo was so nice, but it really, really adds some nice fills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I told you before, right when we got started, that now here's a name that'll date me. But as I grew up, one of my favorite, all-time favorite bands is the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Oh.
And Partners, Brothers, and Friends, and all those songs that they did. But that song sounds like it could have been done by Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. But it wasn't. It was written and with lyrics and the music by the man sitting in my studio today, Patrick. And shout out to Tom Ware, who is the guy who mixed it and also played a little percussion on it. Great song. All right, so we're going to take our next break, and then when we come back, a local, well, everybody's local on this, but Elaine Stoner, her and her husband are co-pastors of Brookside Church here in Omaha, and she has an amazing voice. Now, this is going to get you a little bit, this number 2, but you'll tell us about that in a minute here as we continue on with a little fun musical afternoon here in Mac's World on the Talk of the Heartland on AM 660, FM 106.7, and all around the world at KCRO.com.
Let's not only buy the truth, let's be the truth. Let's tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Let's stand against the things that are false by standing up for the things that are true. Let's stop posturing and actually be the people we want people to think we are.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah for his series, The World of the End, next time on Turning Point.
Turning Point, weekday mornings at 9 on KCRO, 660 AM in Omaha and 106.7 FM in Lincoln.
So this month, No Name Nutrition throws a spotlight on the magnificent mushroom. You know it's a delicious and dense food, but did you know mushrooms are used as medicine in many parts of the world? Whether you're looking for a boost for your immune system, some more energy and stamina, or needing clearer focus and improved memory, the Hurleys and their expert staff have a large variety of effective mushroom supplements in pills, powder, even mushroom coffee. Visit either No Name location, nonamenenutrition.com. a.m.
How does the news around us affect us as Christians? Listen in for Jay Sekulow weekdays at 11 a.m. on KCRO.
Now your forecast for KCRO. For Omaha, Council Bluffs, and Lincoln. Clear skies tonight with a low of 43. Northwesterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Highs level off around 60 tomorrow. Sunny skies and calm. Clear skies and quiet again tomorrow night. Lows dip down to about 38. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Friday with daytime highs approaching 68. 63 Saturday. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley on KCRO. Right now 61.
The Heartland's Christian Voice, KCRO.
It was a dark and stormy night as the disciples went across the sea. It was horrible. It was loud. It was raining. They didn't know if they'd make it or not. And then off in the distance, they saw someone walking to them. Not on the beach, on the water. Peter yelled out, "Is that you, Lord?" Lord says, "Yes, Peter, come to me." Come. Peter was like, "I can't walk on water. I can't do that." "If you have enough faith," Jesus said, "you can." So Peter took a step out of the boat, and he was on top of the water. And his eyes were like a child with a cotton candy tin in front of him. And then a little self-righteousness settled in, and when he put his next foot down, he sank. "O Peter and Mac, ye of little faith." What does that story in the Bible teach us? It teaches us about faith. All through Jesus' ministry, the woman who reached out, she was lying on the ground. She was so hurt and she was broken and so sickly, and she reached out and she just barely caught the side of Jesus's coat or what he was wearing. And Jesus turned around and said, "Who was that?" And she said, "It was I, Lord. I'm not well. I need healed." And Jesus said, "Because of your faith, you are healed." The man who was lowered from the ceiling, who had been a paraplegic all of his life, Jesus said, "Because of your faith, you are healed." Or, he questioned the Pharisees, maybe I should just say, "Get up and walk." I want to give my Father the credit. And he looks at the man and says, "Stand up and walk on your own 2 feet." With Jesus, miracles always had to do with faith. And do you think it was just that way back then? No. It's that way today with you and your relationship with him. Have the faith that Jesus gives us. In fact, push the envelope a little bit and have even more faith than you ever thought you could have. And watch your dreams of healing, getting rid of emotional wounds, be gone because your faith healed you. It's 26 minutes before the top of the hour on this 12th day of October in the Lord's year 2022. Now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, what's wrong with Mac? This is like February of 2024. Well, with today's technology, all of the programs that we do here automatically go on several different websites. They're live on several different platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and, of course, on YouTube. And then they are permanently stored on YouTube. So anytime you want to go back and listen to some of this amazing music from littlebirdmusicstudios.com, the guy who writes them is in the studio today, Pat Osborn. And Pat is telling us a little bit about the inspiration for all the songs that he has free of charge for you on his website, littlebirdmusicstudios.com. All right. The next one. You kind of warned me about this one a little bit.
Yeah, and this one's called Fallen. And And this is a very different style music than the first one that we listened to. That was upbeat. If you go to the music site, Bluegrass Preacher Man's number 4 on the playlist, and this one is number 12. So there's a number of tunes in between to kind of set you up for this. We're just going to go into it. But this is an apocalyptic kind of piece about judgment, about repentance, a very different feel to it. This is a very serious piece. Jeff Kaiser just the other day was talking about repentance, and 2 Chronicles 7:14, which many of you know, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face. We're praying a lot these days, that verse. And this is about judgment. This is my assessment of the culture. The first 2 verses are from the other side, and the last verse is the sons of God. Now, when we talked last time, Mac, I told you when I started this, I had no clue what I was doing, and they
but God did.
Yeah, He did.
Yeah,
but they say if you want to get better, go find people that are really good at their craft, that are better than you, and learn from them. And this piece here in particular, the vocal by Elaine and all the texture and the harmony and the string arrangement that you're going to hear is all by Tim Tyler. I gave him the basic chords and what I wanted in it and the lyrics, and this is them just taking that and turning it into something far nicer than I would have done with it. And
the singer you're going to hear is Elaine Stoner, and her husband. Now, I think I've got this right, but they have a church called Brookside, I believe, here in Omaha.
I believe. Chad's been a pastor a long time, and he plays sax, and they play with some other musicians occasionally. But it is just a joy when I get Elaine in the studio.
You know, if speaking of getting in the studio, I know the studio you're thinking of, but maybe you could get Chad and Elaine to come on one day and talk a little bit about their ministry and some of their music.
Oh, that'd be a lot of fun. Elaine's got, I know, one CD that I have, and I know she does a lot of Christmas music, so that might be
good.
Something coming up.
All right, so this is Fallen, and it is written by the music and the lyrics by the man you're listening to, Patrick Osborn, sung by Elaine Stoner. And I can't wait for you to hear it and tell us what you think. It's live here on The View from a Pew on the Heartland's Christian Voice. This is KCRO.
Fallen from paradise. Waywardness always carries a price. In deceit's embrace, our promise is full of lies. Fallen from paradise. And the sons of hell lift up their voice and tell us all will be well. All will be well. Trust us, my pretty. Trust us and all will be well. Close your eyes to sleep, my pretty. Trust us, all will be well. Soon we will take you to hell. Iniquity's kiss always defiles. Devils and tyrants lie with a smile. Arrogant, wicked men, greedy for power, steal and destroy, and then and tell us all will be well. All will be well. Trust us, my pretty, the old must pass away. Close your eyes to sleep, my pretty. We'll fill your fields with grapes and turn your children to slaves. Fallen from paradise, waywardness always carries a price. Where can we flee the judgment of sin? Down on our knees where repentance begins. And the sons of God lift up their voice and grieve o'er the land. Open your eyes and behold the slaughter of innocent blood poured out like water. Depravity stalks our sons and our daughters as Lucifer plays out his hand. Behold the price of waywardness. Repent or descend into the abyss. Falling for sin, our sins. Falling for sin, our sins. Lord, have mercy, our sins. Lord, have mercy,
That is a song called Fallen, written and directed by Pat Osborn from littlebirdmusicstudios.com. It's available for you for free. Just go there and you can listen to it 100 times. It still doesn't matter. It's still free. And Fallen. Now, for a moment, I'm kind of like, I like to teleport, like Captain Kirk beam me up. And for a moment, I thought about what you must have been thinking when you heard this performed or put together by Elaine, because I'm just going to take a guess it was a lot better than you thought it would be. And that's no bad against you or anybody else. That's incredible. And she does all the backup stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. All the harmony, everything you hear, all those vocals are Elaine doing separate tracks to do the harmony.
Oh, that's a great song. And you're going to hear that song and all the other ones that we're playing today on the radio as I usually play one or two songs, or I usually play, probably 4 songs a week, maybe 5. And they're usually by local performers. And I've said this before, if you're a performer and you've got a CD and you'd like me to play it on the radio, all you got to do is send it to me. It's real easy. And you could send me a download at Mac, like macaroni, at kcro.com. When we come back, Through the Storm, another song sang by Elaine Stoner, and we'll hear the story behind this song when we return in 2.5 minutes. I'm Mac McKoy, and we are live on the Talk of the Heartland on AM 660, FM 106.7, and all around the world at KCRO.com.
Are you looking for a mobile service provider that hands down beats the competition in coverage, rates, lower fees? Then Boost Mobile by For Real Wireless is the company for you. Just switch to Boost and get a renewed iPhone 11 for $49.99 or an iPhone SE free when you switch and go to our $50 unlimited or $60 unlimited plus plan. Just go to forrealwireless.com or your nearest Boost Mobile by For Real Wireless in Omaha and Lincoln and ask for Eric Stevens. Let them show you what they can do for you.
Amid the highest levels of inflation seen in decades, millions of Americans continue to face financial struggles to escape poverty. But when you give to the Salvation Army, you're making an impact on the lives of those in need, right here in the Omaha Metro, every day. Join our effort to put love above all else and show families in need that love exists beyond these difficult times. Give today at omaharedkettle.org. That's omaharedkettle.org.
Hi, it's Mac from Talk of the Heartland, and you know in this day and age you can pick up KCRO just about anywhere you want. We have a digital app that goes on all smartphones, Alexa or Google or any of the smart speakers, or anywhere around the world at KCRO.com. And no matter where you are when you're listening, at home, at work, or in the car, remember to write it down. We are AM 660 and 106.7 KCRO. Thanks for listening to the Talk of the Heartland.
Do you need a little good news in your life? Tune in to Spotlight Good News Omaha on KCRO 3 times daily, weekdays at 5:30 a.m., 9:45 a.m., and 10:15 p.m. with your host, Tim Janisewski on KCRO, the Heartland's Christian voice.
KCRO.
It's 11th day, or 12th day of October in the Lord's year 2022, and I'm Mac McKoy. That, of course, is the theme from the spectacular mini-series on the ministry of Jesus, and it's called Walk on the Water, and you'll never hear that on a radio station played as a song, because that's all it is. It's just this theme song, but what a great song. All right, here we are. We're about 10 minutes before the hour, on the top of the hour. Coming up at 5 o'clock, Destiny with David Newsom. And he just put out his first record, first recording the other day, and I hope he plays it because it really, really is good. We have this knack around here of finding these people who have this incredible talent with music and song. And I don't think it's any accident that these people are brought before us. I don't think it's any accident that you're listening today. We've been praying for you. Oh, I don't know your name. I haven't read your mail. Nothing like that. But we pray before the show starts that God puts somebody in front of the radio, in front of the monitor, in front of the whatever it is, whether it's today or 10 years from now, and speak through us. Holy Spirit, speak through us to help bring someone's prayers with the answer that God's will be able to back it up. God doesn't give you an answer if he can't back it up. So, as a lot of people used to say, including my grandfather, be careful what you ask for. All right, tell us a little bit about... well, before we do that, I want you to talk about the other ministry that you have, or a part of this ministry, which you now have tracks, which is the gospel in Spanish.
Yes, there's a group here in Omaha that produces materials for other Christian ministries. And years ago, they produced about 50,000 CDs and sent them out through their ministry network. And, CDs are gone. You can't get one in your car. And anyway, that technology is gone. But he liked the idea.
I still got one in my 12-year-old Lexus truck, let me tell you, and it works.
Anyway, I like the idea of doing a printed track, and then at the back of it, having the web address and a QR code so you could go and listen to the music. And we just finished the first one based on the Woman at the Well song that we did last time. And there's an English version and a Spanish version. They printed 200,000 of each. The Spanish ones, the first shipment is on its way to Guatemala, and they want to do a series of those like that with access so you could go listen to the music after you're done with the tract.
Yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned Jeff Kaiser earlier. Jeff and I love that man. He used to be in radio too years ago. But I don't want to spoil. I don't think it's a surprise. Well, if it is, I'm spoiling it. He has a husband and wife from Guatemala who are moving to Omaha this fall. And they're going to start a Spanish-speaking gospel service each week, just as Jeff now has a gospel singing, wonderful music and meditation and preaching on his part. And you can hear his show every day 5:30 on Fridays, right after Active and Alive, or Alive and Active, with Coach Ron Brown and Michael Bliss from the Nebraska Cornhusker football team. So Jeff Kaiser, and I think guys like you and he are on this cutting edge of bringing everybody together under one race, and that's called the human race, and that's what Jesus decided our race would be. I want to hear more people of diversity coming together and sharing their music, sharing their messages, sharing their testimony. And if you're one of those people, you are welcome anytime on this radio program. We'd love to hear your story. All right, tell me the story behind Through the Storm. You've got about 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, when adversity, when interruptions and bad news comes into your life, it doesn't walk up to the door and ring the bell and say, may I come in? And it doesn't happen like that. And whatever the news is that we're not wanting to hear, whether it's a doctor's report or a disruption in the family or loss of a job, there are just so many things in a fallen world that come into our lives whether we like it or not. And Through the Storm is written to someone that's hurting, that's maybe in the midst of one of those situations, and just an encouragement that the Lord loves you. He's not going to let you go. Sometimes he'll heal, sometimes he'll do that miraculously, and other times he just walks through the pain and all of that with you, and both are blessings, and that's his sovereign choice. But to remember that either way, he's there and that he loves us. And this song was written to somebody that's having a hard time with that, and you don't have an answer yet. We can deal with yes or no. It's sometimes the hard place is when you don't have an answer yet. But the Lord is there, and Elaine does a wonderful job with this little kind of a song of encouragement.
All right, it's called Through the Storm, and I just want to add one thing. Last week a couple weeks ago when I was gone, I was going stark crazy at home. I had a TV and a computer, and that's all there was, that and the puppy dogs. And one day, kind of out of frustration, I just shut the TV off, and I said, Lord, if you've got something for me, I want to hear it now. And he said, Mac, do you realize that through your struggles, I give you a blessing? That's the message. It's Through the Storm here on KCRO, Omaha.
When the storm clouds roll in and the flood waters rise and turbulent winds seem to drown out your cries, there is one who will help you when the waves rise and fall. He'll go through the deep waters, for he hears when you call. He will watch through the darkness, for he hears when you call. When the sea's angry waves, so dark and so cold, reach into the depths of your soul. When the storm rages on and you grieve what is gone, he will stay by your side. He will never let go. When the road takes a turn through the barren terrain and you can't find a shelter from your heartache and pain, there is one who will bring comfort when you can't bear it all. He is touched by your sorrow, for he hears when you call. He's a sure place of refuge, for he hears when you call. When the night seems so long and hope fades away, and you wonder if you will survive, when emotions rage on and you grieve what is gone, he will stay by your side till the sun starts to rise. When the darkness recedes and your tears start to dry, and your wounds which have brought you so low are beginning to heal by the touch of his hand, he will never let you go. Oh child, he loves you so. Dear child, he loves you so.
Wow. Elaine Stoner, and that song is called Through the Storm, and who can't relate to that at some point or another?
Yeah.
Well, Patrick, it was nice to have you here again. We look forward to having you, well, probably in the next 30 days, because you're going to come on with some of your Christmas music, and we'll let the listeners hear what that is, too.
Thanks so much for having me, Mac.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't think I get any. I think you get some real sense of how important what you're doing is for him. Him meaning God. And that should be all of our stories, because whatever we do, whenever we do it, and whatever we say, let's pray it's God's will, and it be done. Have a great evening.
James.
This is David.
And this is Walter.
AJDW Conversation.
You can listen to AJDW Conversation every Sunday from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on AM 660 KCRO.
Friends, if you are planning ahead or have an immediate need, Good Shepherd Funeral and Cremation Services, 2 Omaha locations, will support you and your family. Good Shepherd will honor your loved ones and help you celebrate their memories at a more reasonable cost. Good Shepherd's online at gsfuneral.com.
What we have today is secularism, humanism, and God has called his people not to sit on the sidelines, but to get in the game.
Dr. Tony Evans says God has given kingdom citizens a divine purpose and responsibility.
He left us here to penetrate the culture with the customs of heaven.
Returning God to government. All this week on The Alternative with Dr. Tony Evans.
Tony Evans, weekday evenings at 7:30 on KCRO, the Heartland's Christian voice.
Welcome back to Slow Cooking with Joe. Today, we're going to divide everyone and everything up a little smaller and leave your kids a little hungry. We're making Biden burgers. All you need is everything you would usually get to make cheeseburgers. But then, cut the recipe in half, spend a bunch of extra money on stuff nobody needs, then blame everyone else for your problems. And boom, you've got Biden burgers.
Hi, it's Don Bacon. Between gas prices and groceries, cookouts aren't what they used to be. You're cutting back because Joe Biden spent too much, which caused us inflation and sent our economy up in flames. I'm General Don Bacon, and I'm fighting to make America energy independent again, to lower our cost of living, stop the spending to fight inflation, and end this recession, so Nebraska families can skip the Biden burgers and have full plates again. I'm Don Bacon, and I approve this message, paid for by Bacon for Congress.
Tune in Saturday mornings at 7 for The Bible Says with Ashley Day.
This is Ashley Day, inviting you once again to join us as we seek to answer the question, what does the Bible say?
Saturday mornings at 7 on KCRO.
The Heartland's Christian voice, KCRO.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of Walnut Media USA, its staff, management, or advertisers. Now, Destiny with David Newsom.
It's my destiny. I want all that's left for me.
Hey, everybody, this is David Newsom, the Heartland Christian voice worldwide. David Newsom with Destiny at 660 AM, 106.7 FM, Lincoln, Nebraska. This is KCRO. You are listening to, listen, I'd like to thank my sponsor, NFM. You know, everybody knows what NFM is. If you want furniture, appliances, electronics, flooring, carpeting, whatever you want, that's where you can get it. In fact, I just recently had to go there about a week ago. I had to get a new washer. My washer went out, and so I found the need to get a washer. And so since I was getting a washer, I decided to go ahead and get the dryer. But anyway, I want to thank you listeners for tuning in. My topic today is about excluding negativity, getting it out of our lives. How do we do that? And my guest with me today is Executive Director Katie Broman of the Omaha Community Playhouse. I am glad to have her here today. And with that, she brought her Director of Marketing with her of Public Relations, Dara Hogan. Thank you, ladies, for coming in with
Thanks
me
so much
today.
for having
I
us.
appreciate you having. I'm so excited. I know, Dara, along with being the director of marketing, you also are an actress as well. So you acted in Ain't Misbehaving in The Color Purple.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Ragtime.
Yes,
Ragtime.
And Oh, see, I didn't get that. I didn't get that. So listen, we as a people have been very resilient. We have lived life, and so I want to talk about some of the things we got coming up with the Omaha Community Playhouse. But before we get into that, listen, I would be remiss not to have Miss Katie Broman talk about you, what you do. You're executive director of the Omaha Playhouse. I came to one of the awards ceremonies, and I had a chance to see you and meet you then. Very pleasant. I just loved and enjoyed everything that I heard. So go ahead, take your time. The floor is yours. You talk.
Well, thank you. Gosh, where do I start? I have been in this role for almost 6 years as the executive director at the Playhouse, and not immediately prior, but prior to that, I had Dara's role, which was the director of marketing and PR, which was so much fun, so amazing. I really kind of got introduced, or I guess involved with the Playhouse in 2005 as an intern, a marketing intern, and then I bartended, and I just kind of hung around there until they finally employed me, I think. And so my career has mainly been in arts administration, and I've just had the best time. I'm originally from a small town called Hartington, Nebraska, which some listeners might know about. And so I've lived in Omaha for 20 years now. And just, love what I do and love where I work.
That's good. That's good. We definitely love what you do at the Omaha Community Playhouse. I hadn't watched plays often. And, I wasn't one who go watch plays all the time, even before all the pandemic things and all that. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But I learned to deserve a appreciation for the things that go on at the Omaha Community Playhouse. It's a stress reliever. And, oh, my God, we need that in these days. Mm-hmm. We definitely need that. It's an added to our lives. Miss Dara Hogan, how are you?
I am well.
As marketing, the director of marketing and public relations, what is your role? Talk to us.
So there are many things to my role, but I would say the main one is really building awareness about the wonderful things that are happening at OCP. The events that we have, the plays that we put on, the education programs that we have, the diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility offerings that we have. So it's just really building that awareness. And then, of course, getting people to come see our shows and engage with us that way. So I always use this example. because every time I am in a production, Color Purple is an example. Anytime I hear someone say, I didn't hear about that, I cringe. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you didn't hear about it? And so I always try to engage them in a further conversation in terms of, where they get their communication from, because everyone doesn't get it from social media or the radio or TV. So that's a component of my job, is really reaching people where they are. And I enjoy that. So.
And I think Dara's job has become more complex over the past 10, 20 years for sure, because 20 years ago, I think most people did get all of their information from the same places. It was mass media, newspaper, certainly TV, radio. And now if you think about, social media being introduced and all of these streaming platforms, Netflix and Hulu and whatnot, it's people don't get all of their information from the same places. And so it's tougher to hit a broad audience with your message.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. And I think one of the things too, people have different platforms that they cater to, whether it's news, whether it's radio. We got boomer listeners. If they are boomer listeners, boomerangs, they listen to boomer, and that's how they get all the information. So it's important that wherever platform you as Omaha Community Playhouse, you're able to put it out on all different platforms, as many as possible. You definitely have the support of KCRO 660 AM, 106.7 FM in Lincoln, Nebraska. You got David with Destiny, okay? So I would love to be another conduit for you all to get some information out, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. So getting right into it, what is the the OCP? And I like how you said OCP, because at first I heard you all saying OCP when I was at the ceremony, award ceremony, and I said OCP. What is that? So that's real cool, OCP. But OCP was founded back in 1924. Omahans joined all across America in this theater movement. And one of the architects, Alan McDonald, is the one that he was also a designer of the Joslin Museum. And he participated in being the president of the Omaha Community Playhouse. And I say all that to say, this is how far this stuff goes back, all the way to 1924. And now you are continuing on the work that has been set forward. And it's good. It's good stuff. And that has to be exciting. But I think in your time, in my time, this is probably the very, very first time ever we've ever had to deal with anything such as a pandemic. What does that look like? What did that look like in the Omaha Playhouse in your season and being as the president? And actually, I'm going to have you. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to have you come in on that. And so, you listeners that are listening, you want to hear this. You want to hear what that climate is like in the Omaha Community Playhouse now, after coming through the pandemic. I think that would be great. It's so much. It's so much. And every entity is different. So I'm excited to hear that. We'll be right back after these messages.
KCRO is seeking partners interested in sharing God's message to our listeners. We would welcome the opportunity to discuss the mission of your business, organization, or ministry and how it might fit into the KCRO lineup. For more information, go to kcro.com and contact Janelle.
Let's not only buy the truth, let's be the truth. Let's tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Let's stand against the things that are false by standing up for the things that are true. Let's stop posturing and actually be the people we want people to think we are.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah for his series, The World of the End, next time on Turning Point.
Turning Point, weekday mornings at 9 on KCRO, 660 AM in Omaha and 106.7 FM in Lincoln.
Greetings, I'm Jackie Marr with Share His Light Ministries, and in our studio I have Sharon Strube from Voices of Omaha. Hello.
Hello. Greetings to you.
Thank you. Now, this is coming up, the 53rd annual Voices of Omaha Handel's Messiah, correct?
That is so correct.
When is it?
It is going to be held on November 20th at the Holland Performing Arts Center at 3 p.m. And there's no admission charge. Seating is just as you come.
Sure.
First serve.
And free will offering.
Free will offering to help us offset the costs.
Absolutely. 53 years. And you are the original cast or
I'm
concert.
a charter member, yes.
Charter
And
member is the word.
I'm very gracious and thankful to the Lord that I can still do it.
Amen. And so 53 years, things have changed in this time. But the beautiful thing is you have the choir of our John Q. Public. Anyone can come and sing.
Yes.
And really, that is a process to just go online. Tell us that process.
Anyone may come to sing in the Messiah. There's no auditions. You may come to the first rehearsal on October 9th at 2 p.m. at Beautiful Savior Lutheran Church, 7076 South 96th Street.
It's my destiny. All that's left for me.
This is a Heartland Christian Voice worldwide. David Newsom with Destiny, 660 AM, 106.7 FM, Lincoln, Nebraska. We are here. We were talking to Ms. Katie Broman and Mrs. Dara Hogan, the executive director. Katie Broman is the executive director of the OCP, Omaha Community Playhouse, for you all who don't know that. And the director of marketing and public relations is Dara Hogan. I have them here today, and we are talking about the atmosphere now in the Omaha Community Playhouse during this pandemic transition. Katie, you got it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think we all probably remember how we felt in mid-March 2020 and places that we were when certain decisions were made and information came down. And it was such a stressful time of unknown. And I remember I was in Dara's position. Dara, for listeners can't see that, Dara is expecting a child.
Yes, she is.
I was 8 months pregnant with my daughter, and I was in this kind of long doctor's appointment. You know, it was an ultrasound appointment, and oh my gosh, so it was like an hour-long appointment. And when I just was getting texts and emails and, you know, just the world is imploding and all of these things, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening, you know? And I had a really great support group with other arts leaders in town, you know, Opera Omaha, Omaha Performing Arts, you know, the Joslin, that sort of thing. And so we were really leaning on each other. And we made the decision finally to cancel the 2 shows that were in production at that time that were running. And in hindsight, of course, that's what we did. Everything canceled. But it was such a hard decision at the time. It was so hard. And we all said, I sat in our Howard Drew Theater and I told the staff, I said, you know, we're just going to take this 2-week break, you know, and we're going to come back stronger than ever, you know. And then it was like, oh, and we have to cancel our gala and our next show and our next show and our next show, you know. And I think, you know, all of us were kind of naive at that time. And so we pivoted right away and started offering digital programming. It was some shows that we had in the archive. We did online streaming, and we partnered with Pitch Pizza and did, you know, kind of like pizza and a movie, but it was online streaming of our shows. And then we started offering a parking lot series. And so we did a whole summer series in the parking lot. And it was a drive-up experience. And it was a lot of fun. And really nobody was offering entertainment at that time. And so it was a really popular option. And then by the fall of 2020, we opened up our doors again. And we did everything. We did the social distance seating, the plexiglass around the stage, the masks required, you know, everything that we could have done. And actually all of that season was like that, because even Ain't Misbehavin', things were really improving at that time, but we had already socially distanced the seat maps and everything, and so we had to keep that going. And then the next season, which was this past season, things started to return to normal, and I got a little cocky. I'm like, yeah, we got this figured out. We know how to do theater in a pandemic. And then Omicron came. It was like, well, shoot, we don't know anything. But currently, we're in a good place. We really are back to normal, at least for the moment. And we have full houses and big productions. And we were saying earlier that people really approach attending in their own personal way, with their own personal comfort. Certainly, we have patrons who come in high quality masks and enjoy a production in that way, and some who choose not to. And so we really do try to keep everybody comfortable, everybody happy, certainly everybody safe. But I think we've reached the part of the pandemic where, again, at least for the moment, things are feeling pretty normal, which is wonderful.
Yeah, and that's good. That's relieving. And I know it had to be somewhat of a challenge. You are offering entertainment. And I think for all of us as a people, we didn't realize, at least I'll say, of course, I didn't realize the need to be able to get out of the house, get away. It's one thing to be told you have an illness, you need to sit until this blows over. But it's a total another thing to be feeling good and not feeling the illness. But then you've got this thing outside of the door that every time you walk out, you're afraid. That is a total different level and a different challenge. And so I applaud you for not quitting. And that's what so many people in those areas of businesses had to do. They had to have a choice. They had to have a plan. And you had one. And I definitely remember when I came to the show, Ain't Misbehaving. At some point, and I may be kicked for saying this, at some point, I didn't care. I just wanted to get out of the house. I just wanted to do something. I needed some entertainment. And so that was great. And the thing that made it so easy is when you come into the theater, your people got up on the stage and you simply said, you're social distancing, you had all of that set aside, and you were required to wear your mask. If need be, you had to wear that. And that just gave you a little bit of comfort. And so that was so amazing. That was just so good. And it was so needed. And I enjoyed it. So what did that look like, even with you, Dara, in the marketing side? I mean, you having to reach out to cancel shows and all of that. And how did that feel?
Well, actually, I wasn't at OCP yet. So, I've only been at OCP for 5 months. So I wasn't, there kind of during the thick of COVID. But I feel like I can speak to being a performer.
Okay, do that.
I was in Ain't Misbehaving, as Katie mentioned, when, they had the social distancing measures in place. And I would say as a performer, I definitely felt safe on our end. There were 5 performers in that particular production. We all had our own dressing room. We would wear our mask up until the time that we got on stage. But, I felt safe. Even in terms of our blocking and staging, there were things that were done so that we would feel comfortable on the stage and making sure we were safe at times. So it was exciting to be back, too, because I want to say that was my first. It had been a while. I can't recall when my last performance before that was, but it might have been a couple of years. So
was it Ragtime?
No. Was it Ragtime? I don't know. No, it was Red Summer at the Blue Bar.
Yeah.
So yeah, it had been a couple of years, maybe 2.5 years since I had been back on the stage. So kind of like you, but from a different perspective, like it was great just to be back on the stage and to present this live performance that I knew that people were yearning for and that I was yearning to give them. We would always have a wonderful and positive response, like from the crowd each night. So that was always a good feeling. And then too, another thing, I remember reading a statistic about, how when people are in the theater, like their hearts like synchronize, like, they beat like at the same time. And so just to know like the impact and the power of theater and performance and what it does for people, not just you as the performer, but what it does for people who are attending, I think just adds more validity to what we do, and it adds more power to what we do in terms of knowing that this is not just a performance and I'm not just showing off, but I'm really impacting someone's life. I'm bringing them joy. I'm bringing them happiness. And I feel like that's the one time where, as a community, people are unified in a sense,
Yeah,
So.
that's good. That's real good. Dara Hogan, Executive Marketing Director at OCP.
Just marketing director.
Oh, okay, just marketing.
Director
Okay.
of.
I mess up everything. Okay.
No, it's okay. Not executive, just director of marketing and PR.
Okay.
Yep.
Director of marketing and PR.
Yep, that's
okay.
right. You
I got to
got
get
it.
my stuff
You
straight.
got it. You did.
Okay. Now we're going to talk to the executive director, Katie Broman.
Yes.
Right, with OCP.
Yep.
Katie, in today's light, people are taking the negative out of their life, and they wanted to get involved, and they wanted to do some things. They wanted to act. They want to do something. What is an avenue for that? Being involved with OCP. What would you say to that?
There's a lot of different ways to get involved at OCP, and I think getting involved is a way for like the highest personal impact. So we always kind of say what really makes a difference in a person's life getting involved with OCP is the participation aspect. It's amazing to sit in the audience, but to actually be involved with creating the show is a really cool experience. And since we're a community-based theater, there's all sorts of opportunities. So performing is one. Anybody can audition for our shows. You do not have to be an equity actor. You don't have to be a professional actor. You can just have talent and a dream, or no talent and a dream. You come on and audition for our shows. We post those auditions on our website. So we have 3 shows that we still need to audition this season: Little Shop of Horrors, In the Heights, and Pretty Fire.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so a lot of different roles. So performance is one way. If you're a musician, certainly in the orchestra. If you are less talented than our performer and orchestra friends like myself, you could be a usher, a greeter, a box office volunteer. We have staff positions that are open right now. We need a shop carpenter. We need a shop foreman. If anybody is handy with a hammer that wants to come and build sets, yes, they build sets. We're looking for a child chaperone for A Christmas Carol. So lots of different ways. Or if you want to be backstage crew, so you can come and run a spotlight, light board, soundboard, fly rail. You don't have to have prior experience. We'll train you on those volunteer opportunities when you get to the theater. So just all sorts of ways to get involved.
That is
I benefited
great.
from the directing fellowship program too that OCP has. So you basically can shadow a director while they direct a specific show, and you just learn pretty much any and everything about what it takes to produce a show, what it takes to direct a show, and you communicate with the director in terms of what level like you're assisting and helping. But for me, I had the chance to assistant direct with Susie for the last 5 years. So, and that was just a wonderful experience.
And
That's
to
good.
Dara's point, we have an entire education program. So that's just one part of the education program. But we have classes throughout the year. It might just be a one-day workshop, or it could be a multi-week class. And you learn about acting or musical theater. And it's for youth and adults. We've got all sorts of classes and camps. and a theater technology apprenticeship program, which is a more intensive 2-year training program. But we've had a couple of performers in the last several years who were brand new to the stage, took a couple classes at the Playhouse, acting classes, which gave them enough confidence to audition, and they've landed lead roles. And
Wow.
so it's kind of a, now I wouldn't say that's the norm, but it certainly happens. And so classes are a great way to get involved too.
Sure.
It definitely gives you an opportunity to really solidify what is your gift, what it is you really enjoy doing. That's great. I did not know that you guys had all of that. I really didn't. I had not heard that. So if someone wanted to get all this information in which you just described, do they need to go online to do that?
Yeah, so we post all of this information on our website, omahaplayhouse.com. We share it on social media. We also have a mailing list. So if you're not a part of our mailing list, go to our website and you can sign up to be a part of our newsletter. So you'll get information about auditions, jobs, events,
shows.
Okay.
all the things.
Okay, that was Dara Hogan, everybody. And we're going back to Katie Broman. So tell me, do you have an idea of what's coming up for the season, the holiday season? We got some fun stuff coming up.
Oh, yes,
Let's talk about that.
Well, we're going to do this little play called A Christmas Carol.
Okay. You know what?
47 years.
You know what? And I read something about that, and I'm going to come right back to that because I want to hit this break, and I want you to tell us about that. What you got coming up for the season, real quickly? Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back after these messages.
Greetings, I'm Jackie Marr with Share His Light Ministries, and in our studio I have Sharon Strube from Voices of Omaha. Hello.
Hello. Greetings to you.
Thank you. Now this is coming up, the 53rd annual Voices of Omaha Handel's Messiah, correct?
That is so correct.
When is it?
It is going to be held on November 20th at the Holland Performing Arts Center at 3 p.m., and there's no admission charge. Seating is just as you come.
Sure.
First serve.
And free will offering.
Free will offering to help us offset the costs.
Absolutely. 53 years. And you are the original cast or
I'm
concert.
a charter member, yes.
Charter
And
member is the word.
I'm very gracious and thankful to the Lord that I can still do it.
Amen. And so 53 years, things have changed in this time. But the beautiful thing is you have the choir of our John Q. Public. Anyone can come and sing.
Yes.
And really, that is a process to just go online. Tell us that process.
It's my destiny. I know all that's left for me.
This is David Newsom with Destiny on 660 AM. KCRO 106.7 FM in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is your Heartland Christian voice worldwide, all over the world. When we were just talking to Executive Katie Broman, I wanted her to talk a little bit about what's coming up for the season to look forward to. Go ahead, Miss Katie, take it.
Well, I'd be happy to. So we have 2 wonderful holiday shows that are coming up. The first is the 47th annual production of A Christmas Carol. So A Christmas Carol is really our signature production that so many people have seen. Honestly, between our national tour and our local production, there's been millions of people who have seen this production across the country, and we're so proud of it. So often when you ask somebody, have you ever been to the Playhouse? Well, what have you seen? They say, A Christmas Carol. Of course they have. So that's going to be opening in mid-November, November 18th. Mm-hmm. And our other show that we're really excited about for the holidays is new to us, but it's been done across the country, and it's called Sisters Christmas Catechism. So a lot of Playhouse patrons will remember Late Night Catechism. We've done 3 different versions or 4 different versions, perhaps over the past 10 years of this show, and it's a one-woman show. She plays a nun, and the setting is a Catholic school classroom, and the audience are her students, and it's hilarious. It's interactive. It's so funny. It's a little irreverent in the best possible way. There's nothing offensive about it. At the end of the show, the actress who's played Sister in the past, she always takes up a collection for different local convents, which it's amazing. And so this year we're going to do the Christmas offering, and it's called Sister's Christmas Catechism. There's going to be some local choirs in our production throughout the run. Apparently she makes a nativity scene with people in the audience, and so it's just hilarious. Tickets are already just flying out the door for that show. It doesn't open until the day after Thanksgiving, and we already have performances that are sold out, and so very popular. So I hope people enjoy that. And the other thing that we're hoping to get off the ground very soon is our new sensory mobile theater.
Oh.
And this is something, we have a new artistic director. Our new artistic director, his name is Steven Santa. It's his real name. He will be celebrating 1 year at the Playhouse on November 1st, and he came to us from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We did a nationwide search for a new artistic director. And Steven in Pennsylvania, he was an artistic director of a theater company called Jumping Jack Theater. And this was a theater company that served children with disabilities and sensory sensitivities. So most of the time on the autism spectrum. And he created a sensory mobile theater at the beginning of the pandemic that brought a one-on-one immersive theater experience right to a child's house. And when he came here, I was introducing him to community members, and there was one community member who said, if you ever want to launch something like that in Omaha, we'd love to support it. And so we started having conversations really early on about, can we make this work? And so we decided that we can. And so what it is a theater in a van, essentially, where there's two performers who are trained to work with children with disabilities and sensory sensitivities. And they come right to a child's house and have this one-on-one immersive theater experience, which is about 25 minutes right there in the van. And the family can fill out a questionnaire before they come of the child's comfort level with different elements to the show. So there's a cool mist spray at one point, so they can rank 1 to 5 of how comfortable the child is. And we're really just trying to eliminate barriers so that all children can have theater experiences, and it's free to the families. So this is a fully fundraised project, and we're really excited. We had hoped to have it launched by now, but as I mentioned before, we're looking for carpenters and shop foremen. So our staffing issues have delayed us slightly, but we'll be doing a soft launch probably within the next several weeks, and then really offering it to the public next spring when the weather's nice again.
That is awesome. I would love for you to come back and talk to us more about that once that gets launched, because I think that there are people that have those disabilities that would love to offer something like that. I saw that on the website, as a matter of fact, and I was very intrigued. I was very much impressed. I think that was absolutely amazing to have that and to be behind that. So thank you. Thank you so much. And will you come back and talk some more about that when that is actually up and going?
Absolutely. I think we should have our artistic director, Steven, come and chat about it. Maybe even one of the performers. We have 4 very talented local performers who are all trained up on it. And so I think that would be an awesome opportunity. We would love that.
Let's do it. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so I know that we had some other things about the facility and the rentals. I did not know that there were 8 venues that that could be rented out. I didn't know that people could actually use those venues and rent those out. And that's just amazing.
Yeah, we have a big building. Our building is almost 70,000 square feet. And so we have a lot of nooks and crannies, and we do have a lot of spaces that can be rented. Actually, I think it's next weekend. A gentleman is renting our Hawks Main Stage Theater to have a movie screening. And this is something that, he did in the spring, and it turned out great. We've had weddings at the Playhouse. We have
baby showers,
corporate meetings. Yeah, we've got our 2 theaters, but we also have 2 nice lobbies. We've got the boardroom and balcony, rehearsal hall, dance studio, just things like that. So we have a lot of spaces for a lot of different needs. Our biggest challenge is we're usually using a lot of the spaces.
Yeah,
so sometimes we can't always accommodate every request, but we certainly have facility rentals.
That's good. Executive Director Katie Broman, thank you for coming and sharing with us. I'd like for you to just, and I'm going to try. So in order to get involved with the Mobile Sensory Theater and also even to fill some of those positions that are available. So again, go to the website and they can look up, and they'll have an open door to go into it to find out all the information that they need in order to contact you all.
Absolutely. OmahaPlayhouse.com. Our openings are listed there. You won't find much about our mobile theater yet because we're not quite to the launch phase yet. But always a phone call. We'd be happy to chat with you.
Okay. Well, everybody, you heard it. You heard it from Executive Director Katie Broman herself. She is doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us on.
Sharing your time and coming out. And from there, we will take another break. This is KCRO 660 AM, 106.7 FM, Lincoln, Nebraska. This is the Christian Heartland Voice, everybody. We'll be right back.
Greetings, I'm Jackie Marr with Share His Light Ministries, and in our studio I have Sharon Strube from Voices of Omaha. Hello.
Hello. Greetings to you.
Thank you. Now this is coming up, the 53rd annual Voices of Omaha Handel's Messiah, correct?
That is so correct.
When is it?
It is going to be held on November 20th at the Holland Performing Arts Center at 3 p.m., and there's no admission charge. Seating is just as you come.
Sure.
First serve.
And free will offering.
Free will offering to help us offset the costs.
Absolutely. 53 years. And you are the original cast or
I'm
concert.
a charter member, yes.
Charter member is the word.
I'm very gracious and thankful to the Lord that I can still do it.
Amen. And so 53 years, things have changed in this time. But the beautiful thing is you have the choir of our John Q. Public. Anyone can come and sing.
Yes.
And really, that is a process to just go online. Tell us that process.
It's my destiny. I know all that's left for me. Yes, I do believe. It's my destiny. It's my destiny. It's my destiny.
Thank you for listening. We are back again. This is David Newson with Destiny. We are the Heartland Christian Voice worldwide. 660 AM, 106.7 FM in Lincoln, Nebraska. This would not be possible without my sponsor, NFM. You know what? They have a huge selection of furniture, appliances, electronics, flooring, carpeting, whatever you would possibly want. I just recently went and had to get a washer and dryer. My washer just went out, and so I thought, oh, okay. If I'm going to get a washer, I might as well get the dryer to match it. So that's what I just recently got. But hey, it would not have been possible without NFM. They had it available, all many different styles and different types, and you have plenty to choose from. You can even go online and shop, nfm.com. So anyway, getting back to our topic, taking the negativity out of life. And we were recently visiting with the executive director, Katie Broman, with Omaha Community Playhouse. With us, we still have Miss Katie Broman had to leave. She has some other engagement. Home always calls. No worries. Thank you. I appreciate her for coming and sitting with us. It was a pleasure. But now we still have the Director of Marketing, Public Relations, Dara Hogan, which is the actress of Ain't Misbehavin', The Color Purple. She played Suge. She is just extremely talented and can sing, y'all. Can sing. And for you who didn't know it, she is bearing a child. What does that feel like, Mrs. Hogan?
Well, and then for those of you who don't know, David Newsom is my father.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I am, and I'm proud to be.
Yes, I'm blessed to have you
Yes.
as my dad. Carrying my first child, so it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So energetic. You know, I watched you on stage. You were doing Respect.
Mm-hmm.
And you were doing all the songs of the legend of women that were just they were just beasts out there and singing. And Aretha Franklin was one. Was Shaka Khan?
Yeah, Shaka Khan, Tina Turner, Carole King. You said Aretha Franklin already, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Carole King, Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, Shaka Khan. Yeah, that pretty much covers most of it. There's a couple of others I just can't think of them right now. But
okay.
But stars from the '60s, you know, the Supremes, Diana Ross.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So much energy. I watched you, and at that time, you were pregnant as you are now. That was only about a month or so ago. Was it about a month ago?
That was in June, so
Okay.
I was showing a little bit, but not as much.
Yeah, but the energy you had, oh my God, it was amazing. I watched you do all that, and I was just tired watching you.
Really?
So what was that like? What is that like? I mean, I know right now you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
What is your plan? I mean, after you have your baby and everything, what's that? What's your plan for the future?
Well, first of all, I mean, I love performing. It just gives me this feeling of freedom, and I love being able to interpret people's stories and different characters, and so I think that is sort of what motivates me and gives me energy when I'm on the stage, regardless of how I'm feeling, whether it be tired or out of breath or any of those things. But now that I'm approaching 9 months of being pregnant, you know, obviously I'm going to enjoy mommyhood and being a mommy for a lifetime. But in terms of performing, performing is definitely something I have to do. It's not an option. I definitely will continue to perform. We'll just kind of see, you know, it's my first child, so I don't really know what to expect. I think my initial plan is to probably take a year off and then kind of go from there, gradually start getting back in and auditioning and branching out into other forms of theater. I started to do some behind the scenes or backstage opportunities, like directing, assistant directing. I was involved in that fellowship program. I wanted to do stage managing, but then I found out I was pregnant. Then I knew I had all these other things going on, like starting a new job, and I was in a couple of other productions, and so I thought, okay, I'll put that on the back burner, my to-do list.
Yeah.
And try that.
Yeah.
When I can.
Well, that is good. You definitely have the talent and you have the gift for what it is you do. I watch you perform in a couple of your performances, and I was wild. I was like, oh my God, is that my child? Is
like
that my
father,
daughter?
like daughter. Get it from my dad.
Oh my God. Hey, I think I think you got some from me and a little bit more, man. You're taking it to another level. And I'm happy and I'm proud of that and looking forward to being a grandpa too as well. But in doing that, I think there's always going to be something that you're going to always have your hand in it, no matter what. What is that going to look like as far as practicing and keeping those vocals together? Because I know you got some range on you. Will you do that from home, even with the baby? I'm sure the baby will. Your grandson, my grandson, your son will love to hear your voice singing to him. What is that going to look like for you? You're going to try to exercise and all that?
As far as exercising my vocals, to be honest with you, I mean, I think that's my goal, you know, to continue to practice. I'm a believer in always sharpening my tools. So even, I want to say, anytime I'm in a show or right before it, like maybe a couple of months before it, I'm enrolling in classes, or I had a voice coach. I've had a couple that I've worked with just to, keep these vocal cords going and keeping them well exercised. And then too, just expanding my repertoire as a singer and as a performer. Not just being comfortable with what I know, but branching out even into like opera and, learning how to do those things, and not just sing, but I mean, when you sing, there's a level of expression and performance that goes into it. It's not just about sounding good, but and you've taught me that it's just really about connecting to what you're singing about. I learned that just from singing in church. You can be a good singer, but if you don't know what you're singing about, and if you don't have your own personal story that's connected to what you're singing about, then there's sort of a disconnect. So I plan to probably call my vocal coach and say, hey, when can you see me? I want to get in and practice on some things. And then, of course, just singing at home and singing to little Grayson. Got to do that.
That is excellent. In doing that, now you said you were doing some other things also. You've had a chance to help in somewhat the director side and having acted and also being a little bit in the director. Do you think you like the director? Which one do you like, one more than the other? What do you think about that?
Definitely like acting more.
Okay.
I think a lot of times, I don't think that people know how much goes into directing. I mean, it is a lot of work. I feel like as an actor, yes, you need to know the whole picture of the production that you're involved in. And, if you're learning from someone like Kathy Tyree, you not only learn your lines, but you learn everybody else's lines.
Wow, that's huge.
But from a director, you really have to have the full scope of the production, from the set design, the costumes, and you have to understand how it all plays into the storyline. You're dealing with cast members, you're dealing with the backstage folks. There's just a lot of responsibilities, and I realize that although I love theater and I love people, I don't like working with that many people at the same time, because you really have to delegate. And, when you're in a production, you're in rehearsals with the